Hey everybody, this is Colin from Studio 1405 at Poplar Creek Public Library. Welcome to the first video of our Home Recording Basics series. This video is on what is a DAW. In this course, we will go over the basics of home recording. This class is intended to establish the fundamentals of home recording with whatever resources you have available. We will discuss working in a digital audio workspace, understanding your acoustic space for a better recording and listening environment, recording with a microphone, whether that's a cardioid condenser, dynamic mic, or even your phone, preparing your performance for confident recording, and other resources you can use to further your audio knowledge. Today we're going to talk about digital audio workstations, or DAWs. We will go over the basic layout of a DAW and how it is used in recording. A DAW is a software program used for composing, producing, recording, mixing, and editing audio. There are quite a few of them on the market at various price points, including Avid Pro Tools, Apple's Logic Pro, and Ableton Live. There are even a few DAWs that can be run completely in your browser, such as the free program BandLab. In this lesson, we will go over how to download and run the DAW Reaper. I have chosen to use the program Reaper in this course for a few reasons. The software is available on Mac, PC, and Linux. There is a 60-day free trial period for the program, and it's a powerful standalone DAW with enough functionality to create professional quality audio productions. While Reaper is not a free program, it is available for a 60-day evaluation period, after which you can decide whether or not to purchase a $60 license to continue using the software. Reaper can be downloaded from reaper.fm. Let's go to their homepage. Navigate down to the download section. If you are using a PC, download the Windows 64-bit version. If you're using a Mac, download the OS X 64-bit version. Once you have the software installed, let's launch the program. If you have any issues launching the program, try restarting your computer and launching it again. When we first open the program, we will be greeted by this message that reminds us that the program is not free, as well as some information on how to purchase it. For right now, let's click Still Evaluating. The program will also ask us about our audio device when it is first launched. Reaper needs to know where to input and output audio. If you're using computer audio with headphones, feel free to choose built-in output and built-in input for this section. If you're using a USB interface or USB microphone, you can select that as your input and output here. Once we have our input and output selected, press OK to save your settings. Let's take a look at the interface in Reaper. In the center we have our timeline. This is where the audio clips will reside. Notice if you press spacebar, it will trigger the play function, and a yellow bar starts moving across the screen. This gives us a visual representation of how the audio is played over time. If you click different areas around the timeline, this green bar will pop up. This bar is called the playhead and will be used to determine when the audio will start when you press play. If you take a look below and to the left of the timeline, you will see the transport. This section should be familiar to most people. There's a play button, a stop button, a pause button, a repeat button, and two buttons to skip either to the beginning or the end of the project. To the right of the transport, we have our project data. This includes the tempo, or beats per minute, abbreviated to BPM, currently set at 120. It also includes our time signature, currently set to 4/4. If you are not familiar with music theory, these items may be hard to conceptualize how they would be used. Think of the tempo as how fast the rhythm of the song is, and the time signature as how that rhythm would be divided. I'm sure you've heard a drummer count off 1, 2, 3, 4. What they are doing is giving the rest of the band a feel for the tempo, or how fast the song will be, as well as what's called a 4 count, or a single measure of 4/4. Most of Western music is in 4/4, which means there's a subdivision of 4 quarter notes per measure. If you listen to the drum beat of any song on the radio, chances are you can count 1, 2, 3, 4 in time with the beat. So how is this used in recording? If we go up to this little metronome icon in the top left corner of the screen, we can click the icon to enable it. The metronome will allow the musician to record and play to a grid. Let's press play and hear how this sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Say we wanted to record a bit of guitar and add some piano on top of it. Recording to a metronome allows us to easily lock into a rhythm without having to guess where all the beats will fall. There are plenty of situations where you might want to record without a metronome, but that's what it's used for. At the bottom section of the screen we have our mixer. I'm sure you've seen pictures of a producer in a studio with a giant mixing console in front of them. That is exactly what this is representing. Right now we only have one track, and that's the master track. The master is where all the individual tracks in a project are sent to. Let's populate this project with a few more tracks so the master isn't all alone. If we go up to the area to the left of the timeline, we can right-click and select Insert New Track. You can see the shortcut listed next to the function in the drop-down menu. I'm on a Mac, so that shortcut is Command-T for me, or Control-T if you're on a PC. I'm going to press Command-T a few more times and make some more tracks in the project. Let's take a look at the mixer. Each one of these columns is called a channel strip. Imagine we were playing at a studio with no computer. We would plug a cable into a single channel strip that would control the volume, panning, and effects for that instrument. That's exactly what's happening here. The first item you'll notice on the channel strip is the fader. This is the knob that turns the volume up and down. We'll set that back around 0 for right now. Above that we have the pan knob. This determines how much of the signal is being sent to the left or right speaker. All the way to the left and we have the audio only in the left speaker. All the way to the right, only right. Let's set that back near the center. Let's look at the buttons to the right of the fader. At the bottom we have our sends and routing options, which we won't go into for this lesson, but are a very powerful tool for mixing. Above that we have our solo button, which when selected means only this track will be played. Above that we have the mute button, which naturally mutes the channel. Above that we have a subtle speaker button, which is actually our record monitoring tools. This can be set to on, signified by a filled-in icon, auto, showed by a red icon, and off, which is an outlined icon. We'll leave it on for now. Above that we have this big red button. I love big red buttons. This is our record arm and disarm function. What that means is that when this is selected and we press record, this track will be recorded. We can arm multiple tracks at once, which is extremely useful, especially when using multiple microphones. Nearly every DAW will have a layout similar to this. There will be a timeline, a transport, project data, and a mixer. These are all tools you can use to produce audio. Next week we will talk about acoustics, or your physical space and how it reacts to sound. If you want to learn more about Reaper, check out the course available on lynda.com. Lynda.com is a great resource we have through our library that has in-depth videos on specific technological topics and more. If you are a Poplar Creek Public Library holder, you have access to lynda.com. Go to pclib.org, resources, and click lynda.com. Enter your library card number to create an account. From there, you can search for Learning Reaper 5. Feel free to browse the site as well, as Linda has a massive library of online training available. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next week. And a quick reminder to take your census if you haven't already.